Okay. Okay. Hello, Likhitha. I'm Gauri, and this is Akshaya with me today. And thank you so much for doing this again.
Hi,
Um,
hi, Gauri. Hi, Akshay.
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're fine. It's a little cold here, but we're fine.
It's cold here too. It's getting cold here.
It's usually the Christmas time around, so
Mm,
it does
mm,
tend to get cold.
yeah.
So, uh, jumping right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were to describe your typical day as a silicon design engineer, how exactly would you describe it, and what are the projects you're working on currently, and what are the challenges you encounter?
I guess when it comes to silicon design engineer, our work is not that busy or something. It depends on the project. We have project cycles wherein we have development phase, testing phase, and debugging phase. Currently, I'm working for a memory internal IP team. So we are designing our internal file. And this is the first chip which is going into the market, and we have to validate it. So we are, as a post-silicon validation team, we are in our development phase. We are developing our test scripts for testing the features of the file, and also we are deciding our framework. Most of my work up till now has been understanding the architecture of it, how exactly it's been designed, and also to port certain UVM related codes to Python for us to know the test sequences and all those stuff. So basically to come up with some code wherein we can test. And apart from that, yeah, we are trying to I don't know whether I can mention these terms, but then we are trying to build come up with tools where we can verify our code. So you'll have your simulation and emulation, right? So yeah, we are developing the simulation tools and also testing our codes on that simulation environment, because your RTL model will be in that simulation environment, and we test our codes so that we can get the results or not. When we have our actual hardware, we just know that our test scripts work fine. Uh, so
Right.
there are like multiple things which are happening parallelly now. We are developing our framework. We are developing the Python scripts for testing our features, and also developing these simulation tools.
Right, right. So, are there any challenges you've encountered in this process?
Initially understanding the terminologies and also the architecture, because
Mm-hmm.
um, if it seems new.
Mm-hmm.
Though my background is from Compark, certain things are very difficult to understand or maybe connect the dots, because there you would know, okay, this is what it is. Say for example, FIFO is there, but here in real world, how it is used, and there are many places where it's used in very different way. The implementation of it, understanding it, it goes very deep in. So you should understand. The difficulty is understanding the architecture and also coming up with codes wherein we are not software engineers, we are hardware engineers, and also our
Right.
team is test development team. So again, coding also becomes another challenging thing. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a learning.
Right, right. So, if I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to talk about this, but if you were to talk about the projects which you are working on, where exactly is that going to?
Okay,
Like,
so I'm in the server side. So
mhm.
ours will go to Microsoft Amazon servers. So
Right.
there is another client project which is happening currently, and today was the first day of the bring up. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is for your desktops, laptops, gaming.
All right. Uh, so if we were to talk about how one would kickstart their career when it comes to a silicon engineer or VLSI engineering in general, how does one go about it?
There is two aspects to it. Just like how in computer science we have front end and back end, here also we have front end and back end. So for front end, it's more of RTL verification things. So you can take courses related to Compaq, system Verilog, UBM, or verification in general, and also design like digital design. These are for your front end. And when it comes to back end, it's physical design. Again, as I mentioned before, it was CAD and then VLSI. In VLSI also there is like advanced VLSI where you'll come up with do projects from RTL to GDS to sign off. So it's these two are the main ways of dividing semiconductor industry, and then the subjects related to that would be these.
Right, right. So, if we were to talk about back end and front end, they're connected, but people who specialize in one are most likely to get hired in that specific field as long as you know the basics, right?
In my case, I was mostly into front end, but then I'm hired for back end right now.
All
I'm in
right.
the silicon validation team, which is the back end side. Our
Right,
chips come after packaged and stuff. So I'm not in the design side of it. I'm after the packaging. I'm in the testing side of it. So it doesn't really depend on whatever you learn is the job you get. At least for here in this market,
right,
getting
right,
into
right,
a job is important, and also getting into a semiconductor industry was more important for me because I can start off my career somehow. And for
right,
me,
right.
this current role has been helpful because I can understand both design RTL codes. I
Mhm,
can get access to them and go through it. And
mhm,
since we are working on simulation, I do get access to all of those RTL codes. And other than that, even verification, we had to port UVM codes to Python codes, right? So there also I got exposure to front end. So at this moment in my career, I have a good coverage of both. That's what I would say. But
Um,
if you ask me another question, would you like to jump anytime? I would say yes.
all right, all right, all right. So, in the case of beginners mostly entering the VLSI industry, what projects do you suggest would look good on our resume or would attract companies to hire us?
Keeping Dan and Sagar's students in mind, I would say analog design, that would be one. VLSI design is one more course, I guess, which you guys have. And apart from that, I don't think we'll anyway learn microarchitecture. But if you have to do outside courses, I would highly recommend you guys doing computer architecture courses. Like you have a lot of um,
Mm,
Unaru Muttulu.
okay,
He's one of the Unaru Muttulu is a very good professor. You can watch his videos. You can understand what exactly computer architecture is, and you
right.
can understand about that. And yeah, the whole thing is Compaq and VLSI. If you know a transistor, if you know how it's working, and
Mhm,
if you know in physical design, if you know layouting, what and all comes under it, then if you know these things, basic computer architecture, VLSI,
right,
then it's pretty
right,
much you know everything. But
right, right.
yeah, there's a lot more. When you go into Compaq, you'll have FSM and so
Mhm.
state machine, and then later the CPU design and how all those come under computer architecture when I say Compaq here.
Right, right.
Um, so, in case we talk about design engineering, what was the thing that first inspired you to pursue a career in this field?
Yeah, coming from electrical engineering, my main interest always was power systems and control systems. But then I joined Continental Automotive, which was an embedded system related job. And there I was working with instrument class, the PU called UI UX. So wherein we were testing instrument clusters of the car. That's where I understood, I came across all these chips or PCBs which were there. And I asked my colleague what exactly these are. And he was explaining me about VLSI. Okay, this is what it is. And he was from EC background. And he was telling, okay, this is what he was telling me all the steps which takes to make a chip. That's where it started. And I was like very intrigued by whatever he said. I was like, okay, let's try something. And then I was preparing for GATE. I had given GATE exam as well. I was thinking to do MTech and started off with applying to one of the colleges in India, but then apparently applied to US colleges and I got in. So I came here.
Right now. So how does your degree in computer engineering actually shape your career path?
Hmm. For me, how it would shape is it would give me an understanding of writing RTL code for a particular part of a chip. Say, for example, if I have to design branch predictors, so we can write, for me, my degree helps me in designing that or writing those codes. Pipelines, CPUs are pipelined now. We can do CPU design, we can write codes for them. So Verilog coding is one thing. And system Verilog is something which I learned like outside coursework. Other than that, my course helped me in understanding the layouting part, the transistors part, and also connecting or understanding how a processor or your application is connected to those transistors. I can kind of relate when I start my system, what happens? When I start my system, how exactly this chip is actually helping to run whatever is happening in our system. So this holistic view is something which I got from my course.
Right. So when we talk about working abroad or just getting into colleges abroad, what are those factors that you need to inculcate in your application that would help you get into good colleges abroad?
For me, since I didn't have anything like extracurricular, for me, my scores were the only big advantage. My CGPA plays a major role, I would say. At least in my case, it did.
Right,
And other than that, your SOPs, how well you present.
right,
In SOP, you write down your motivation behind that course or the whatever degree you're doing. So when you have your strong motive, when your motive is very clear, like why you need to do that or what is that you want out of that degree, your SOP comes out really well.
right,
So just write down what you want out of that degree and what are you expecting from your career. Where do you want?
right,
When you have that clarity, then SOP comes out well. LORs, of course. Those are just the essentials. I would say for me, in my case, it was my CGPA. GRE, TOEFL, they are important, but I wouldn't say, I don't know, in my time, they did decline those scores of GRE, but
right,
still they did consider. And,
right.
and I guess in my case, it was just CGPA, nothing much, I guess.
If we also were to talk about extracurriculars, what do they primarily look for?
How well you have contributed to your society through your project works. That's what I
Right,
say. If you do any mini project in your engineering degree, keep in mind how you would help the society. How would this project, whatever you're doing, would affect a major portion of the population. So write down those points when you're writing down project, especially when
right.
you're writing your project, just write down those stuff.
The outcome and how it would help people.
Yeah, how would it help people? So yeah, here mainly they think of how our work is impacting the society. It's always whatever you do, it's for the well-being of others. So keep that
Uh,
point in mind and write down whatever. Whenever you're explaining your projects, or even if you're taking up some project, always keep that in mind. Always keep thinking of resolving the issues which are there currently. That's how a project comes up, right? So yeah.
right. Uh, After you do your master's
Mhm.
abroad, the usual misconception is like, oh, it's very hard to get hired, very hard to get hired, especially in our core field. How true is that?
It is true. It is true. I'll tell you my own scenario. Since I interviewed, I mean, I interned with my current team for 3 terms. That was like summer, spring, and fall. They converted me, but there were others also who interned in other teams for 3 terms, but they didn't get that conversion. So it's difficult. And I interviewed for many other big companies. They took me till the panel round for three
Right,
different teams of a company, and still I didn't get that. So that
mm,
competition is really high. You're competing with a lot of colleges, and most of the students who come now are coming to semiconductor industry itself. Their courseworks are concentrated on Compark and VLSI, and
right,
very minute ones go to analog or power electronics. So when
right.
you know there is competition not just in CS but also in C, that's computer
Mhm.
engineering. Yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult. Let's put
How
it.
how ex I'm so
Exactly.
sorry, you can continue.
I would say, see, if you have good experience from India, if you have like interned in TI or Qualcomm or Intel or something of that sort, then it
Right,
becomes pretty easy to get here. Or Western Digital also. Those people who had experience, like 1 year, 1.5 year experience, like solid experience, they could get internship very quickly.
right,
But
right.
I didn't have any experience in this semiconductor field, right? So
Mhm.
I started getting my interview calls only from, since when I came to US, like I came in fall, so I started getting my internship calls only from spring, like
Right, right.
in yeah. And the summer would start somewhere in May. Yeah. I had to get my internship done,
Mhm.
the interviews done within Feb to April. That
Right.
was the time period. Yeah. So only then, in that period, also there were multiple calls which I got, and then there were many rejections, just one clicked. So yeah.
Uh, you told me that when you were interning, there were
Mhm.
people who did not get converted, right?
Mhm.
Who weren't taken for full time. How exactly do you make sure that, you know what, when I get an internship, the main reason for me is to get it converted at the end?
The main thing that I would see, like the main goal, what was, can you repeat?
The thing is, you told me that along with the people you interned, there were a lot of them, unlike you, who did not get the full time equivalent. So, how exactly would you suggest that we tackle that problem where we end up getting the full time equivalent?
Okay, for that, one thing is show you're very passionate about whatever you're working, and
Right,
make sure you log your efforts in the sense, log your efforts in the sense, like make sure what you have done each day,
right,
maybe each day, at least in a week, what you have done and how it has impacted your team. So make
right,
that down. And when your manager asks what you have done, or you can show him that this is what it is. And here, when you're interning, you'll always have a buddy or a mentor.
mm,
Be in good terms with your mentor, and then let them know that whatever you're doing, and apart from that, tell them that this is what you're looking for, and you're looking for a full-time conversion. Like, is it possible they can speak for you to the manager and stuff? In my case, I did ask my mentor a lot and also my manager, and that's when they opened direct for hiring me because it wasn't there before.
right, right. Fair enough.
Communication and showing that you're interested in it, and also showing what you've worked on.
Right.
So talking about the work culture, the
Mhm.
difference between India and abroad, what are the major differences that you have seen, Rabsa?
Yeah, I have seen since I'm almost in the same similar type of work, because there also I was working for UT test, but it was some instrument cluster. But here also I'm working for UT, but again for five. There's a lot of difference. When it comes to when I was in India, I don't know whether I could say it or not. I feel we were just the last considered team, and they wouldn't share anything about the design perspective. At least in
Right.
my company where I was working, it was only like, okay, this is what you get and get us the results. If I had to understand the entire project, it was very difficult for me to understand there, because most of the things were abstract. They wouldn't share,
Mm-hmm.
and they would treat us like, okay, you're just there for testing related things, and this is what is required for you. You should know this much. But here, when it comes to the same kind of work, I don't have any limitation. I get access to all the things, like everything. I can ask, like, what exactly is happening. There is this accessing thing, and also there is no abstraction for me to learn anything. Nothing is abstracted from us. Everything is shared, and we are involved in design related conversations. We know a product from end to end. If we put in our efforts, we can know a product from end to end,
Right.
because everything is open here. I that was my perspective, that you don't get enough accessibility to the resources when I was working then in India, but here I do get it. Again, there are certain things, because that was a German company and this is a US company. I don't know the differences. So yeah, at least from my experience, I couldn't learn more when I was in India, but here I can.
Right. The work-life
Mm-hmm.
difference is evident in
Mm-hmm.
regards to two companies or in regards to two places. So, my follow-up question would be,
Mm-hmm.
how efficient is networking actually playing a role here? How efficiently is networking actually playing a role here?
Networking has only helped me get here, I would say, because
Right.
I'm from a family who didn't know anything about masters and stuff like that. I
Right.
used LinkedIn to the best of possible way, because I actually like went, searched profiles, connected with them, asked them how exactly I could get here, what are the courses and stuff like that. And also they helped me in shortlisting the colleges. And after coming here, they helped me. I mean, I again connected with many other people from industry. I asked them what kind of questions they might ask for your team, because depending on the interview calls which I was getting, I was connecting to the people from that company working in that team. So they would give me a list of questions. Okay, this is something which you can expect, because this is what they asked me. Networking plays a role. I mean, it's very important to connect to people, ask them. You won't
Mhm.
get anything if you don't ask. So,
Right.
and networking is about connecting to right people and asking right questions.
Uh, Again, a follow-up on that. The
Mhm.
thing is, when we talk about VLSI companies coming to campus, the Anand Sagar, any campus for that matter,
Mhm.
the number of companies that actually come, they're very less.
Yeah.
Like they're very less. So our best option, at least for the ones who are pursuing VLSI right now, is off campus.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
if you could give us like a roadmap on how to target companies off campus and actually land an internship.
Mm, See, I would say the safest option would be to start some courses, like extra outside courses related to
Right.
VLSI, so that you will have some work done in that
Mhm.
domain in your on your resume. That is one way. First thing. Secondly, you can start applying or ask over LinkedIn to people to refer you to that company. That is
Right.
second. But I don't know how well they would respond. There's nothing wrong in asking. Even if they don't, it's okay. You can go to their websites. I feel this is universal wherever you go, it's the same. The portals will be there. Go to their actual website, apply. Keep
Right.
applying. And once in a while they will respond if they respond. Because I don't think, at least when it comes to semiconductor industries, HRs would neglect the resumes, because in semiconductor industry resumes don't undergo those what is that, 80 something, I don't know, some automation tool wherein they scan the resumes, and I,
Right,
I
right.
I don't know what that term is. So yeah, it doesn't go through that. At
Mm-hmm.
least it's not automated by any tool. It's a human who's going through your resume. So it needs to be universal everywhere. If
Right,
if it's happening here, it has to happen in India also. So I would say first have some extra work done outside your course, because I don't know how much well current curriculum is supporting. So that
right.
is one thing. And secondly, go to their websites, apply. Third, go to LinkedIn, connect to right people, ask them for referral.
Yeah. So the only way through this is referrals and portals.
Yeah, referral important. That is the way. There is no other way. Yes.
Right, right. Fair enough.
So outside work, what's the recent tech product or innovation that you find fascinating?
Outside work, honestly, I've not bothered much. Um, mm, yeah, I mean, other than a Vision Pro is something which I'm interested in. I did read about it. Other than that, yeah, I keep track of what are the products or product line which AMD is releasing recently. So yeah, other than that, yeah, Vision Pro has been a latest good thing, but I don't know about the sustainability of it. And if you ask any other topic that interests you, it's again ML related, LLM related topics is something which I keep reading, because yeah, it's good to know about LLM. It's growing.
All right. So, how do you actually get that work-life balance in abroad? Like, what do you guys actually do?
For me, work-life balance is see, being single, you don't have to worry about anything else, right? It's just you, your work, you have to take care of yourself. And it's not that difficult, I would say. You just have to wake up, go to work, come back, cook for yourself, and do extra the whatever cleaning stuff. I mean, cleaning and all those stuff happens during the weekends, and you have to just go take care of your health, have some activities happening inside so that you can deviate.
Right.
It's pretty much it. You can do it. It's not difficult.
Right.
Uh, okay, so when we talk about your degrees, so you said that I pursued Triple E, and that was the reason why it kind of fueled my interest in where I am here. How important were these subjects, the Triple E subjects, or how did it aid your
I would
current position?
currently I'm working in post-silicon validation. So I do work on analog related topics. I've not learned it in master's. It's completely from my bachelor's, which I know. So if I know
Right,
about oscillators, if I know about voltage dividers, and if I know about something on those terms like PLLs and stuff like that, phase interpolator and all these, it's completely from the bachelor's
right,
knowledge
right,
I have. Other than analog, will I use power electronics, power systems, or will control systems? No, I don't.
all right,
Um, but then those terminologies will be used in some of the algorithms. I
right,
kind of like, okay, understand, okay, this is what they're talking about, like Nyquist forward. Okay, that those things do get mentioned here as well. So yeah, I feel subjects are all interrelated at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And learning about the best part for me was, since everybody says electrical engineering is difficult, it is difficult. Like, it is. We should
Right,
agree. It is difficult. So coming from that background, your EC knowledge subjects becomes very easy.
right, right.
Here, it's not that way. Here,
Mm-hmm.
EC subjects are pretty hard,
Yeah.
especially if you're for front end related courses. It's pretty like intriguing, and you have to think a lot.
Mm-hmm. A follow-up on that. So when you pursued your master's in computer engineering, there are also various other courses like electrical engineering, computer
Mm,
engineering. Uh, do you wish you had pursued another course? Or for
mm,
the people
mm.
who've come right now, what course do you suggest they pursue for aiding their VLSI career?
Again, I would go back to that same thing. If you are interested in front end, I would specifically say please go do DV related courses, System Verilog, UVM, RTL
Mhm.
related courses. Like that's what design is. So I would say do these. And if it's backend, then take physical design, take VLSI, do these courses. And personally, I don't think you need any other courses other than these. And of
Right.
course, your programming, your coding needs to be good.
Mhm.
You don't have to know multiple languages. If you know C++, know it to the best. If you know Python, know
Right.
it to the best. So that's what it is. No
Uh,
one coding and these subjects if it's front end and back end. I don't think you need analog, or if you are interested in analog engineering, then you could do take those and pursue that way. If you're interested in power and electronics, again, you can take those courses and pursue it. It's again your interest, but if it's semiconductor, these subjects should be sufficient.
right. Uh, you spoke about LinkedIn, like how it is instrumental.
Mm.
Uh, Apart from so the thing is, LinkedIn, there are a lot of job offers,
Yeah.
but how exactly do you choose this is right for me?
Again, I did apply. I had like turned on my notifications for certain companies for certain roles. So I
Right,
had added my filters and also turned on the notifications accordingly. So I used to get the alerts. I used to apply immediately the minute they used to post. So,
right.
yeah, again, it all depends on how well you apply your filters for the jobs which you are looking for. That comes
Right,
only when you know what you want. There are
right.
situations where it's like, it's okay if let me just get in. You might
Mhm.
also, I mean, that will also work. But
Okay.
again, if you're very particular on, okay, this is what my interest is, again, just play with those filters and alerts and stuff is what
Uh,
I would say. If you have
so
to use your LinkedIn efficiently.
Right. So you spoke about how internships do play an instrumental role when
Mhm.
you go and apply for places abroad after your master's. So if there were a few companies that do offer internships here, and how exactly do we target them from India? Like not like before pursuing masters.
Mhm. Oh, okay, like previous like experience before
Uh,
getting the internship.
right, because we do not get that experience and they look for how much we've worked for, but as it is the way they hire us is lesser.
The way they hire, first thing is the way they hire is depending on the skill sets. So
Right.
if you are in any job, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
if you are in an embedded system related job here in India, and if you have certain skill sets, if that
Right,
is matching to the skill sets which are there in the job description of the ones they have posted in internship thing in abroad,
right,
if you
right,
are doing your masters here, if your skill sets match, you get it. You
right.
get the call. From there on, again, it depends on the coursework you have taken, all those interview questions go. If you have to target from India to internships, I don't think that will happen. Like you should.
No, not that. The thing is, they want us to have previous like
They
whatever
don't
experience.
want you to have it. It's not a
All right.
want. It's nothing like must. If you have it, you'll get it at the very early stages, and you're free from it. Like you don't have to worry about it because you got your internship call, and you already got your internship because you had good experience in India. But even if you don't have it, there are people who are like fresh out of their college, they come to masters. They don't have any experience. But
Right.
there, what plays important role is the way you design your resume, the way you apply your skill sets which you have, and what are the courses which you have taken. The way it's all about expressing how well you know a topic despite you don't have an experience.
Right.
Part of presenting your resume really well. And again, connecting to the recruiters over LinkedIn, managers over LinkedIn who are hiring, sending them your resumes. And apart from that, applying
Right.
to
Right.
job portals and trying your referrals outside. If it works, it works. But yeah.
Again, follow up. You
Hmm.
spoke about how resumes are supposed to be end-to-end perfect, more or less, and how it's more of a manual process than an automated process, unlike IT-related
Yeah.
resumes. So when we talk about manual preferences, it's different, but there is one sort of
Yeah.
uniformity which we're supposed to maintain. What exactly do you think that makes up a good silicon design resume or a VLSI engineer resume?
First, I would just explain you your first template. First thing is your name, your details, and then next comes
Right.
your education, then your skill sets. In skill sets, you must mention the code, programming languages which you know, along with the proficiency which you have in them, like Python, intermediate, C++, intermediate or beginner, something of that sort. System
Right.
very low. So when you are targeting system very low, semiconductor course, jobs, then first thing is they check whether you know Verilog, then
Right.
system Verilog, UVM if you have knowledge, really good, and Python, C++.
Right.
These are one. And then second thing is your VLSI, Verdi and EDA tools is second
Right.
thing. And third thing is technical skills. There comes your, you have to split your computer architectures knowledge like CPU design, GPU design, pipelining, cache, and all those virtual memory. I don't
Right.
think you wouldn't have any of those. So I don't know how to explain that. So think for technical skills, you just add your VLSI knowledge, whatever you have, and
Right.
also you know about layouting, you know about physical design, you know about anything else, whichever external courses you have taken, mention them.
Right. So again, level beginner, things like that. We have to put that in brackets.
Yeah, please put as a beginner or something. The reason why you're putting your proficiency next to it is because you're making it easier for them to understand, right?
Right. Fair
The
enough.
easier you make, the quicker it gets, I mean, look through, and then they'll also feel very happy that, okay, you have made things very easy for them. This is what they are looking for, and you have all the things required. And that's it. You get selected, or yours will go for the next round, something of that sort.
Right.
And then comes your experience, and then comes your project. Yeah.
All right. Fair.
A college grad wouldn't have experience. I don't know if you have done internships during your summer times, then you can add them. If not, projects or something. That's good enough.
Right. Akshay, do you have any more questions for Likhit?
No, I think we can wrap.
We can wrap it up. All right. All right, Likhita. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
doing
so
this
much.
again.
All the best for you guys too.
Thank you so much, Likhitha. I hope your day goes well. IST timings.
It's 7:30 now.
Right. I hope the rest of your day goes well then.
Yeah, for you guys, hope your day goes well. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Likhitha. Again,
And
sorry for the inconveniences caused.
oh no, there is no inconvenience at all from your end to me, but I'm so sorry if you had to start from the odd hours. So sorry for that. And if you have anything related to like any referral, even if you need for India AMD, I can give it for you guys if you're interested in interning there. That can
Right.
be possible. And other than that, if you want to know about your resumes and stuff, you can ask me that. What else? Yeah, anything like however you want to ask help, you can anytime. It's fine.
Right, Likhitha. I might take you up on that offer, genuinely.
Yeah, sure. You can.
Again, thank you so much, Likhitha.
This is open to all my DSC students, like whoever it is, all my juniors out there. You can tell that to Satish sir also. So
Right. I'll let
whoever
him know.
is interested, they can. Because I
Right,
know
Likhitha.
there is this hike happening. Like many of the companies there in India are hiring, like especially semiconductor industries are hiring there. So I
Right.
guess you guys must go there and try it out because
Right.
it gives you a good start.
Right. Thank you so much, Likhitha.
Well,
Again.
have a great day, both of you.
Right. Bye, Likhitha.
Bye.
Oh. Okay.